So this is how we represent a mirror. This is K dash. This is the polished surface, which is the back, and this is the front surface. Okay. So I think this up to here, everything might be very much clear to you. Now we will study about the laws of reflection of light. Okay. So now we will study about the laws of reflection of light. Reflection of light. So before studying the laws of reflection of light, we need to know some of the basic things, such as the incident ray, the reflected ray, the normal, the point of incidence. So all this I will explain you with the help of a diagram. Suppose this is the mirror, M dash. Now this is the normal. Normal is always what? It is perpendicular to the mirror. Normal is always what? It is perpendicular to the mirror, making an angle of 90 degrees. Now this is the light ray coming. This is the This is the light ray deviating. Again, this is the light ray coming. This is the light ray deviating. So this is going, this is coming. So if this is point A dash, B dash, point O. So this is known as the incident ray. This AO is known as the incident ray. This AO is known as the incident ray. This A dash O is also known as the incident ray. Now this OB is known as the reflected ray. OB is known as the reflected ray. या फिर OB dash is also the same, known as the reflected ray. Point O is known as the point of incidence. This point O is known as the point of incidence. This point O is known as the point of incidence. Okay, where the light rays come and where the light rays meet, and again after that the light rays reflect back. है ना? This is known as the point of incidence. So A is known as the incident ray. This is known as the normal, and which is always perpendicular to the point of incidence. It's always perpendicular to the point of incidence. This is the normal, which is always perpendicular to the point of incidence. AO is known as the incident ray. A dash O is also known as the incident ray. OB is known as the reflected ray. OB dash is also known as the reflected ray. This is the normal, and this is the point of incidence. I think this might be very much clear to you. So now we will study about the laws of reflection of light. So now we will study about the laws of reflection of light. Okay? Laws of reflection of light. Law number 1. What does it say? The incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal all lie in the same plane. Suppose this M dash, this is the normal, say N, 90. A dash. So the incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal all lie in the same plane of paper. All lie in the same plane. The incident ray, the reflected ray, and the normal all lie in the same plane. That is, the incident ray, comma, reflected ray, and the normal all lie in the same plane. Point number 2, law number 2, the angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence, or the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Say this is theta, so this also will be theta. or say if this is 30 degrees, this also will be 30 degrees. So the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection, or vice versa. Vice versa means either the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection, or the angle of reflection is equal to the angle of incidence. So these are the two laws of reflection, where we also say it as angle I is equal to angle R if this is angle I and this is angle R, or angle I, or you can represent this as I, this is R. So this is angle I is equal to angle R. We represent it by like this, angle I is equal to angle I. So these are the two laws of reflection which you need to remember. The first one is the incident ray, the reflected ray, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal all lie in the same plane. And law number 2, the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Okay. Now, if the light rays pass through the normal, so what will be the situation? Okay. Now, if the light rays pass through the normal, then angle, what will be the situation? Okay. Now, if the light rays pass through the normal, now if the light rays pass through the normal, what will be the situation? The situation will be angle I will be equal to 0, angle R also will be equal to 0 degree. Why? The light rays will go in this direction, will bounce back in the same direction. The light rays will go in this direction, will bounce back in the same direction. It's not making any angle with the point of incidence O. It's not making any angle with the point of incidence O, and hence angle I will also be equal to 0 and angle R will also be equal to 0. And hence it will be reflected back in the same direction. It will be deviated back in the same direction. Okay. So now we will study about two different phenomena. One is regular reflection and number 2 is the irregular reflection, also known as the diffused reflection. Okay. And in short form, I have written reflection. Okay. Now, regular reflection means what? I'll show you with the help of a diagram. So, what is this? This is the normal. For this is the normal. For this is the normal. Okay. This is M. This is M dash. So, this is said to be A, O, A dash, B, O dash, B dash, C, O double dash, C dash. Okay. So what? This is called regular reflection. This is the point of incidence for this. This is the point of incidence for this. This is the point of incidence for this. So this is known as regular reflection. When the reflection takes place from an smooth and even surface, that is polished, smooth and even surface, where there are no irregularities, then it is known as what? It is known as regular reflection. What? The surface has to be smooth, polished and even. The surface has to be smooth, polished and even. So number 2 we will study about irregular reflection. Irregular reflection, or we also have known as the diffused reflection. We also known as the diffused reflection. For this I will draw the diagram here. Suppose if the surface is not even, or suppose if the reflection is taking place from this surface, it will fall back, go like this, it will fall back, it will bounce back like this, it will go like this, it will go like this, it will fall back, it will bounce back like this. So what is happening here? So see, this is the first one which is going like this. Okay. Now this is the first one which is going like this. Now this is the second one which is going like this. Okay. This is the first one, this is the second one, this is the first one. And now this is the third one which is going like this. Okay, and this is the fourth one which is going like this. So what is this is known as? Suppose this is the surface A, this is the surface B. You make it as O, O dash, O double dash. Make it as C, C dash. Sorry, C, C dash. Okay, this will be C and C dash. Sorry, this is D, D dash, E, E dash, and this is again F, F dash. So what is this? This is a kind of irregular reflection where the reflection is taking from uneven and unpolished and unsmooth surface. So this is known as irregular reflection. So this is basic thing which we have been studying from class 7th, I think. What is regular and irregular reflection? Okay. So now we will study about two different types of images. So are you loving this? So now we will be studying about two different types of images. One is the real image and one is the virtual image. One is the real image and the other is the virtual image. Okay. But before this, before we go to that, we need to know that when is an image formed. If I ask you that when can you say that an image is formed? कब एक image बनती है? So when the two light rays meet at a certain point, है ना? When the two light rays coming from two different sources or coming from a single source meet at a certain point or appear to meet, either they meet at a certain point or they appear to meet at a certain point, somewhere very much behind the mirror or somewhere very much behind the object, they appear to meet at a certain point. At that point, the image is formed. Either they actually meet at a certain point or either they appear to meet somewhere behind the object at a certain point or even at infinity they appear to meet, then the images are formed. But when the light rays actually meet at a certain point, then we say that a real image is formed. When is a real image formed? A real image is obtained when the light actually meet at a certain point. A real image is formed when the light rays actually meet, when the light rays actually meet at a certain point. Say on a screen, इसमें it appear to meet at a certain point. So it appear to meet at a certain point or somewhere behind the object. So this is known as the real image. Example, if I take of a real image, it can be image obtained on a cinema screen. Obtained on a cinema screen. In this, if I say, what is this? The image formed in a plane mirror is always a virtual image. Image formed in a plane mirror. Image formed in a plane mirror is always a virtual image, है ना? Because somewhere behind the object the image is formed. So that is a virtual image. Okay. Now what type of this can be seen in this? Which all can form? A real image. It can be formed by a concave mirror. A real image can be formed by a concave mirror, or it can also be formed by a convex lens. It can be formed by a concave mirror or it can be formed by a convex lens. Whereas if I talk about the virtual image, where can the virtual image be formed? So where can the virtual image be formed? The virtual image can be formed by a convex mirror. The virtual image can be formed by a convex mirror or a plane mirror. Or a plane mirror always forms a virtual image. It can actually meet a certain point, say at a screen. Also we can say that it can be obtained on the screen. Point number 5, if you like it can be obtained on the screen. It can be obtained on the screen, whereas it cannot be obtained on the screen. It cannot be obtained on the screen. Okay. So now if I tell you the difference between the real image and the virtual image, real image can be obtained on the screen, whereas the virtual image cannot be obtained on the screen. Real image में क्या होता है? The image actually meet at a certain point, at any certain point, where it appears to meet at a certain point. Example is image obtained on a cinema screen where you see Salman Khan and Katrina and all dancing, है ना? So that is the real image, whereas the image formed in a plane mirror, but what you see your face inside the plane mirror is always a virtual image. In this, concave mirror and convex lens can form these types of images, whereas convex mirror and plane mirrors can always form these types of images. So I think this might be very much clear to you. So next, we will be studying about lateral inversion. Lateral inversion. What is lateral inversion? It is a phenomenon in which the right appears to be left and the left appears to be right. Means if you raise up your this hand in the plane mirror, you will see your this hand raised in the plane mirror, and if you raise up this hand in the plane mirror, you will see this hand raised up in the plane mirror. This is nothing but this is called as lateral inversion. What? This is the phenomenon in which the right appears to be left. What happens in this? Right appears to be left, and left appears to be right, and left appears to be right is called as lateral inversion. This is very much phenomena which can be seen in a plane mirror. That is why you see in the ambulance is written upside down, so that when you see through the mirror, you can see the ambulance in the upright position, that is in the correct position. That is why ambulance is written upright down on the ambulance. Okay, so now we will still see about the characteristics of a plane mirror. Characteristics of a plane mirror. But a plane mirror, always image form is always, I have told you just now, virtual. If it is virtual means it is erect. So image form is always virtual, and the image form is always virtual. The image form is always erect. The image form is of the same size of the object. Is of the same size of the object. Okay, and the image form is at the same distance as much the object is in front of the mirror, as much the object is behind the mirror. Means it is at the same distance as much as the object is in front of the mirror, at the same distance as much the object will be behind the mirror. And the image is laterally inverted, and the image is laterally inverted. The image will be laterally inverted. Means the right will appear to be left and the left will appear to be right, and the image form will be at the same distance behind the object as the object is in front of the mirror. Okay, so these are the few characteristics of the plane mirror. So now we will study about the uses of the plane mirror. Uses of the plane mirror. So basically it's used in the barber shop, in homes, that is in dressing table you can use it, bathrooms, etc. So there are n number of uses of plane mirror. So basically this completes the introduction to the chapter reflection of light, and so next on we will move on to the spherical mirrors, and we will see how are the images formed when the image is kept at focus, between the center of curvature and the focus, or beyond the focus, or between the focus and the pole. So all these things will be taking up in the next class, and for the time being, thank you so much to all the students. Be safe, be at home, okay, and unnecessarily do not go out or try to gimble with everyone here and there, and just take care of yourself, and thank you so much. So we'll meet up again in the next class. Till then, stay safe, stay ahead.